Well, Gators fans, that sucked. We'll say it sucked. There's a lot of things to take away from that game, and there's a lot of things to just go. It didn't go your way. I am, if you're new here, not the type here that's going to be complaining about referees or anything like that. Because I think the refs sucked on both sides of the spectrum here. I think that they gave the Gators a call where I think, given how the rest of the game worked out, you probably don't call that pass interference. But they called it for Florida, and then they missed the face mask on Anthony Richardson in the last play. And then they also missed a play where at least I felt like it was PI just because I thought the safety got in too soon, or it was Caleb Douglas deep down the right sideline. I feel like the safety came in too soon and hit him before he even caught the ball, but that was way earlier in the game. And either way, the refs don't score 45 points. That's not on the refs. And the refs don't go ghost for the huge end of the second quarter through until the start of the fourth. Refs don't do that. A quarterback who throws 11 straight incompletions does that. And again, I'm not saying that that's even Anthony Richardson's fault. Also, everybody, just if you don't know this already, first half of this, my thoughts. Second half of this live stream will be me just answering whatever's in the chat. I am going to put the Locked On Gators Discord link in there. Feel free to join that, and we're pretty active in there now, always arguing about stuff, which is really fun, but it's what we do. But yeah, it's once again, offense goes ghost, offense then finds a lot. On Gators Discord where they were talking about, Patrick Toney has to make adjustments for the defense and eventually something has to work. And it's like, look, I think that it's very hard to go, oh, Patrick Toney needed to make adjustments when you were getting consistent pressure, but whoever was in the backfield just wasn't making the last play. They weren't finishing the play. And it's like, oh, put them in position to succeed. He's putting them directly in front of the quarterback. They're just screwing it up. So there's that. Talking about adjustments on the offensive side of the ball, whether it's Anthony Richardson inaccurate passes, which he didn't have a lot of this game. I realized, it was 9 for 27 passing, if I'm not mistaken. Anthony Richardson, 9 for 27 passing. There were drops. There were a couple throwaways. There were inaccurate passes. There was just great coverage. He was getting pressured. He had to get rid of the football. It's tough to say. One thing you can say fairly comfortably, run game should have been used more frequently. Like, you could look at the numbers and say, hey, 34 carries from Etienne and Johnson combined, and then another 10 from Anthony Richardson. That's a great effort to run the ball. And really, is it because you ran the ball a lot early on, then tried throwing the ball a ton, and then you kind of got away from running the ball in the second half, which is weird because if you're the Gators, you should especially be running the ball in the second half. That's kind of what you're supposed to be good at. 3 people caught passes for the Gators tonight. It was Ricky Pearsall, Jonathan Odom, and Dante Zanders. I know that Montreal Johnson got targeted and Caleb Douglas got targeted. But 3 guys came down with the passes, and not all of them were easy. Ricky Pearsall had a couple big, deep touchdowns, which were awesome. Jonathan Odom got involved quite a bit, had his touchdown, which, by the way, that's something where I think it was last Friday. We talked about how the Gators are getting really good with split zone read and also working boot slide. So boot slide was that passing touchdown to Jonathan Odom. Trevor Etienne, 17 carries, 129 yards, touchdown. Montreal Johnson, 17 carries, 85 yards, touchdown. Anthony Richardson's one interception was a really bad one. He had quite a few passes where It's hard to complete some of these passes when you're working under pressure. Defense, of course, again, it's the same thing with the defense where it's hard to fault them because the offense consistently screwed up, but it's also hard to give them that excuse when Florida State was scoring anyway. Like, this is a game where both teams started off firing. The first quarter had 28 points. It was insane. It was the highest scoring quarter. Yeah, highest scoring quarter in the game. And then they just went ghost once they got a little gas, and they were already getting screwed over too because it was like, well, the offense was scoring on big plays. 52-yard touchdown first play. I forgot how long the second touchdown was. I think it was like 20 something. And then you have another deep touchdown with Ricky Pearsall. It's really hard to get off the field, come back, play defense, get off the field, come back, play defense. And it just piled up so quickly. So that, yeah, that sucked defense. I will say it's also like it's hard to excuse just giving up contain consist like even if you go, oh, like, well, the defense has been on the field so long. The thing that we want you to do is stand up there and not let anybody outside your outside shoulder. And that happened quite a lot. Trey Benson started off really hot and slowed down. Jordan Travis feasted the whole time. It was insane. As a passer, he wasn't great. I'll say that. He also was not helped with incompletions because of drops or just tight coverage or whatever it might be. But this is a game where Florida covered the spread, so there's that. I will say it was very weird that Florida State rushed the field, just because if you're favored by 2 scores and you win by not 2 scores, I think it's really weird to rush the field like you just won the Natty, but cool, like, that's great for you. But we are about to get to the chat because I see you guys talking quite a bit, so we'll get to the chat for the second half of this, and then we will wrap up. But before we get into that, Florida Gators were 9.5 point underdogs against the Florida State Seminoles this week. And like they have done every time they're underdogs, they covered the spread, which is why I took Florida to cover that spread because they do that every time. And if you listen to the crossover Thursday, I said Florida to win a close game. So obviously, I'm willing to take them covering the spread. But head to the website today with BetOnline or use your mobile device, which that's generally how I prefer to do it. And check out the action. Check out BetOnline. It's where the game starts. Now for this second half here, we're just gonna look through the chat, roll through it, and then wrap up. So if you're here, like, subscribe, comment, review, join the Locked On Gators Discord. The link is in the description. The link is in the chat. I just posted it a second time in the chat, so join that if you'd like. But just looking through this chat, hard to beat the refs, crowd, players, and fans. Hard to beat the crowd, hard to beat the players, hard to beat the fans. I will continue to say I think that the refs sucked both. They sucked on both sides of the ball, so I find it very hard to say it was against the refs. Both teams were playing against the refs. How about that? Yeah, Gators played against the refs, but so did the Noles. So there's just stupid things like that. That would give us a first down on that face mask, and they couldn't stop the run. Yep, but again, if Florida ran the ball more often, probably wouldn't have been in that situation anyway. So hard to fault them there. Yeah, the face mask was missed, but probably shouldn't have gotten the PI call that they did, considering all the plays that weren't called PI. So again, pretty fair trade off. All I want for Christmas is a new DC. Then you should also ask for a brain, Sean. I'm sorry, but it cannot be, oh, yeah, the defense coordinator sucks. And we were talking about this in the Discord where it's like Gators fans can't go early in the season, wham, play more man. And then they start playing more man and they still get torched. It's like, wham, play more zone. Like, you need better players. Then also, the game plan was great. It was get in the backfield consistently. They just didn't finish the play, and there was nobody behind them in a spy because their thought is we're going to be in the backfield anyway. We're not going to need to worry about that too much because we're going to get the sack here. But they just couldn't do it. They just every time. It was horrible. We need an OC. No, you don't. You have an offensive coordinator. His name's Rob Sale. He's the guy that's given you the best Florida Gators offensive line that you've seen in a decade. So no, no, you don't need that one. But you do need a passing game coordinator, I think. I will stand by that. I will not say offensive coordinator because that probably implies getting rid of Rob Sale, and that's a bad, dumb decision. Don't do that. FSU is holding all night long. There's always holding. Can't believe he threw it 27 times. But yeah. We gave up 45 points, screwed ourselves. And that drop from Douglas, wide receiver, yeah, it was a drop, but he did also get hit. That was like an easy catch to begin with. He should have caught it, but I will say, kind of on him. Refs did lean the other team 100% of the time. Not true, because if they leaned the other team 100% of the time, Florida wouldn't have gotten that PI call. So not true. I'd be concerned if I was a State fan. They should have had that game in the bag in the first. Yep, they should have. Yeah, Florida State fans should not. Like, I get it. You won the rivalry game for the first time in a while. You're going to be happy about it. Florida State fans should not be proud of this win because you should have won this game by so much more. Just know that. That is what it is. Caleb Douglas got to come down with that. SEC refs need to be investigated. Facts Q. Excuses. We never had a chance with Napier and Richardson. His rating was at 20 and new FBS low. Can't adjust for not being able to tackle Travis. It wasn't Richardson's fault. They were drop balls, penalties, and refs not making calls. There were also some inaccurate passes. That interception, you cannot tell me, is not on Anthony Richardson. There were inaccurate passes. Like I said, yes, he was not helped with drops. There was great coverage on a lot of times. There were just balls that should have been caught, and there were balls that were just straight up drops. But there were also inaccurate passes. That's also true. Same old thing. Details, the L is there. We need damn quarterbacks what we need. Well, maybe next year. Where is the safety to spy? That's not something Florida's done at all this season. If anybody's been a spy, it's been Amari Burney. Brandon, I hope you took Gators plus 9.5. Tyler, I did. I did take the Gators plus 9.5. You know the rule. If they're underdogs, I'm taking them to cover the spread. They just do that every time. FSU got away with a lot of penalties, got away with murder. I swear I feel like the refs be getting caught up in watching the game instead of doing their jobs. Gators played well. Go Gators. The SEC refs were horrible. Florida probably got a better shake with ACC refs. Richardson was literally face mess at the end. Ricky didn't get calls because the refs acted like they were blind. There was 2 missed targeting calls that should have been made in the beginning. FSU was playing solid coverage, and no one on the team but Pierce all can catch. Yes, that is right. AR didn't have the best game, but it was, yeah, exactly. AR didn't play a great football game. But I am very hard-pressed to say it's his fault. But at the same time, like, he didn't play great. It's one of those things where a lot of things went wrong, which is now the second week in a row where a lot of things went wrong. Should have ran the second half more. Yep. Henderson and Shorter could have played. That would have been exponentially better than what we saw if they were both out there. Tennessee fan here. I know y'all hate me, but I'll be damned if the commentators weren't ever circle jerks. Yeah. Brock Osweiler was. That was the first time I've ever heard Brock Osweiler commentate a game. Holy crap, is he bad at his job? My Lord. There were so many times, too, where he's like, that's what you learn in Pop Warner. That's what you learn in Pop Warner. In Pop Warner, you learn how to complete some passes, but look at that. You flamed out of the NFL so quickly, didn't you? Okay, then, Brock. Number 8 for Florida State, and Richardson got hit on the head, and that was targeting. Why everyone thought he came out the damn game. AR not ready for the NFL. He's not, but he's still going to go, which I want people to get ready for. Anthony Richardson, I think, is done being the Florida Gators quarterback. I think he's going to the NFL. I'm certain he's gotten first-round reviews and first-round grades back. I'm pretty sure he's gone. He deserves to be gone. It's probably the smart decision for him, like, financially. That's probably the right choice for him. Let him do it. And, hey, I hope the best for him, but okay. Cool. I'm going to focus on Florida Gators for 2023 in this bowl game and the future. But did Florida State player have to break Anthony Richardson's neck for him to get a face mask? Once again, defense was cushy. No flack on AR. The face mask at the end was obvious. Yeah. Downside being big physical QB. You don't get the same calls as a feeble QB, which is stupid. A penalty should be a penalty regardless of how big the person you're hitting is. So that's just dumb. Could have used Shorter and Henderson. I don't say anything. Richardson is ready for the NFL. We want the NFL to take him. get him out of Gainesville. Praising. I mean, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to bash him. I think that he is who he's been, and he will always be that person. He's probably always going to be inconsistent, but he's probably going to get more consistent. That is what it is. Exposes all the warts in this football program. Well, good thing there's only one game left, so you've got months now to fix it after that. No spies on Travis. Again, with the blitz, I don't think you necessarily needed the spy. They just never finished the sack. At least AR kept that last desperation pass on the field. That's an improvement. That's a good point. That's good. He did throw the last one like 60 yards past the end zone. So there's that. Marshall was getting cooked all night long. Yep, he's been pretty inconsistent this year, regardless of man or zone, whatever it was. He's been pretty inconsistent this year. Refs are on the way to the strip club with all that damn money. Who's Sean Abel? Okay. I don't care about the numbers. Numbers mean nothing to me. That's how it is. Defense is so slack, filthy. Just a fan. Let's see if Richardson's the first to opt out of the toilet bowl. Let's hope so. He'll be up there for sure. He will be one of the first ones to opt out. I would like to see Osiris Torrance opt out. Just because it's hard for a guard to go first round like he's kind of talked about right now. So I'd prefer he just opts out and doesn't get hurt. So is that. Refs gave him the damn game. Go look at Doofus. Okay. Okay. Patrick Toney may not last at Florida or in the SEC. He made 0 adjustments. That's just not true. He better not get an offensive coordinator next year. Shouldn't go and notice that a lot of true freshmen play this year. Yep, and a lot of true freshmen screwed up tonight, specifically. Kamari Wilson had spy on Jordan Travis one time. He ran in way too early. Didn't work out. Miguel Mitchell got beaten coverage, led to a big play. It happened quite a bit with the young guys. Young guys are looking good for freshmen, but they're still freshmen. Couldn't wrap Travis up. Yep. Not a real fan. Fair weather fans. The play calling was awful. You got to admit, no, it wasn't. I think it was bad, but not awful. I don't know. I feel like there were passing plays that were called, and this happens all season. Pass plays that were called should have been completed and weren't. And then people go, the passing plays suck. And it's like, I mean, there were certain plays where they're open. They're just not completed because the guy throwing the ball isn't completing it. I don't care about the numbers. Trey Dean dropped the pick 6. He did. I'm in Spain without the S. I need more linebackers. They do. Can't understand our use of timeouts. Those were definitely questionable and frustrating. I think part of that was Anthony Richardson trying to get things settled down along this offensive line. And with so many young players that haven't really played a ton at receiver, trying to get things checked, and it just piled up. Love your channel. We have to go get Sam Pittman. Hell no, you don't. But thank you for loving the channel. Wasn't DC either. Calls are made. They didn't stay disciplined. Yep. Ready for this roster to overturn at UF? Same, Alex. Ideally and likely bowl matchup for the Gators. I'm looking for just a good game here. That's what I want. If it's at a nice place that I could afford to go, I'd love to do that as well, but we'll see. Been coaching too long to have play calls bad. Okay, rushing the field like a bunch of bumps is just so sad. Yes, I am still trusting the process as well. I know someone said that. Sorry, it jumped me to the bottom of the chat, so now I got to scroll back up. I'm probably going to start burning through these a little bit. Excited about the future? You should be. You should be very excited about this future. Why do you have blind faith in something that hasn't been proven? Because of recruiting? No, I mean, I have not blind faith in Billy Napier. The reason that I have faith in Billy Napier is because he's shown consistent adjustments, whether or not they've worked out. He's shown consistent adjustments, a willingness to learn, development. This team is part of it is they were the halftime of the Georgia game. They could have just laid over and died. Instead, they fought their butts off to get back into that game. This team is trying hard. They're making adjustments. They're going to get better players through recruiting. That is why you trust the process. Also, you don't have any other choice but to just this ride. So deal with it. So there's that. I'm just going to skip through some of these because we've been going longer than I like to go. You guys know that. I hope he goes to the NFL. I think he will. Okay. Jimbo's offense is outdated. Brock Osweiler was one of the worst. ETN will not transfer. There's just no reason for him to do that. Brandon, you noticed the same thing. What was the last thing you said? Okay. Oh, it's about people being delusional. Sorry, I'm not going to read back that. I'm I'm just not. It sucked. ETN could play anywhere. Gotta keep him. Yeah, you'll keep AR. Will AR move on? Yeah, I'm pretty sure Anthony Richardson's gone. I think he's gone. I think he's no longer a Gator. Well, once a Gator, always a Gator. I think he's no longer an active Gator. We'll see. I think you get Jalen Kitten in the bowl game. What I'll be interested in seeing is there's some rumors going on with the Florida Gators and another quarterback that they're interested in, and he hasn't hit the portal yet. We'll see if he does hit the portal. And if he does, will he come to Gainesville? Will that push Jalen Kitna out? Will that force Jalen Kitna, Jaden Rashada, and this other QB into a battle? It's going to be insane. Transfer portal opens in about a week. All right, about a week, maybe two. All right, December 5th, whenever that is, which is a week and 8 days, or a week and 3 days, 4 days, something like that. Either way, I'm looking forward to it. It's been an insanely long day, insanely long weekend, but looking forward to next week. We're talking portal, as in portal risks and who Florida could target in the portal. We're talking coaching staff, if there's going to be any changes, which I know you guys are all rooting for. I'm going to say no to the big ones that you guys talk about. Just know that. But we'll talk about why my opinion is no. We'll talk about who could be on the way out in this program, whether it's declaring for the draft or portal. It's going to be an awesome next couple weeks. It's going to be a really fun ride. It's going to be crazy, chaotic, hectic, and I can't wait. Just one thing I could tell you is to embrace the chaos. It's going to be fun. I could also say thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in. I appreciate you a ton, more than I could even express, but thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, review. Check out the Locked On Gators Discord, which I'm going to post a link again right there. Go ahead. You can join that. Yeah, thank you so much. This is Locked On Gators, finding your team every day. And I hope you all have the great rest of your night, and hopefully it only goes up from here.